Well, hello there. How are you doing today? Hope everything's going well in your little part of the realm. Thanks for joining me. And it's time for another look at the strange realm we find ourselves in. And of course, don't believe anything I say, guys. Don't believe anything you hear on the videos. This is all about thinking for yourself, being autodidactic, and coming to your own conclusions. And of course, do give me a like, please, before we get started. Help the algorithm, leave your comments as we go through, and hope you enjoy it.
You guys, I think we're winning. I'm not even kidding. The United Nations is facing imminent collapse because they are running out of funding. And the reason why they're running out of funding is three member states, China, Venezuela, and the United States. The United States being their biggest donor, have decided that they're not going to pay their fees anymore. I'm not even kidding. Just read this. The UN's impeding financial collapse. The United Nations is facing severe liquidity crisis and is at risk of imminent financial collapse. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres has warned that the organization could exhaust its cash reserves due to massive shortfalls in mandatory payments from member states. The member states being the United States, China, and Venezuela. Now, if you don't know the history of the United Nations and who was actually involved in building the United Nations and also its future goals of being the one world government to all nations, I have a video on YouTube explaining everything in detail from like the start, when after World War II, the British pretty much tried to get the United States and Canada into like this group called the United Nations so that we would never have any wars. And then all of a sudden they started to dictate to us how we actually are going to live. And what's really funny is the United Nations has a bunch of tentacles like the WHO, the World Economic Forum, and a bunch of NGOs. So if you're wondering where the 15-minute cities comes from, the United Nations. If you're wondering where all of this DEI stuff comes from, United Nations. If you're wondering where the climate change narrative came from, United Nations. And it was all planned so that they can absolutely destroy and collapse the West, so that they can come in and be the one world government to absolutely everybody and then enslave us further with AI and technology. So the fact that these mofos are actually collapsing, I think we're winning.
Well, what do you think? Are we winning? I mean, it sounds good, right? Of course, being conspiracy realists, we also understand that there might be another play behind there. But, I think we also need to notice good things, right? Because thoughts become things. We're actually creating this world that we're a part of. And so, I think we shouldn't think of everything as a scam and bad, because it could be good. It could be the system collapsing. There's definitely a lot of other signs, right? But I guess, also keep your eyes open. And yeah, the UN really are there just to control and to bring in the one world order. Started off as the League of Nations, it used to be, and then it got changed. So did it get usurped by these evil entities, or was it bad from the start? Who knows? But I think that's good. We should celebrate it.
Fuck AI. Fuck AI. Fuck AI.
They literally told us in the Matrix that AI was going to be humanity's downfall. Like, look what's happening right now. Pause and read. Listen.
The world is running out of the one commodity that can't be replaced, recycled, or synthesized: water. Every crop, every data center, every city depends on it. And for the first time in history, it's being traded like oil.
Even China is starting to step into this shit. This is why they're trying to come up with the protocol for you tokenizing water. Because if we don't have any fresh water, bro, we are done. Really, ever since I talked about this shit, crazy. The gov and billionaires literally been buying this shit up. I told y'all, just go on USWR website. I'm telling y'all, to wake up!
Yeah, the data centers again, and the water issue. I mean, billionaires buying up water. I mean, who gets the right to sell the water, right? I mean, crazy. But yeah, I mean, is this the plan, to dry everything up and basically to, commodify water to, enough that it becomes a luxury? Is that what part of this data center plan is, do you think, just to get more and more control? Or is it to build infrastructure for AI? Because that doesn't seem that needed at the moment. And by the time they sent it finished, they're going to be obsolete. So it's a bit of a bad investment if you think about it. But is any of it real, or is it all just fear?
Turn on the news right now, or don't if you can get away with it. War, disease, economic collapse, energy crisis. Do you notice something? It never ends. And that is not an accident. Because people living in a constant state of perpetual fear are exhausted people. They're distracted people. People who are too overwhelmed to question, too tired to resist, and too anxious to think clearly. Why? Because an exhausted, fearful population is the easiest population in the world to manage. All of it being shoved down our throats by every available media outlet out there, all at the same time. And do you know what? Maybe some of it is real. Maybe some of it is exaggerated or manufactured. I'm not here to dispute conspiracy theories, but the way it's being delivered is there to keep you in a state of constant panic and stress. And that stress is what prevents the critical thinking. It disconnects you from your intuition, and it makes you more reactive than responsive. And a reactive person is far easier to lead to whatever solution they've already prepared for you. So what do you do with all this uncertainty? Firstly, observe, but don't absorb. By all means, stay informed, but set boundaries around the amount of fear-based content that you intake daily. Your nervous system cannot tell the difference between a real threat and a fear-based headline. It will react to both the same way. Secondly, come back to what you can control. Your body, your home, your community, your peace. Sovereignty begins in your own life, not with arguing with strangers online about something that neither of you can control. Thirdly, build something. Fear wants you passive and scrolling like your life depends on it. The most powerful response you can have to a world that is trying to exhaust you is to create community, connection, solutions, and building a life that doesn't depend on systems that you don't trust. Your peace is not naive, it is resistance. A calm, clear, and connected person cannot be controlled. So that is why your peace isn't just good for your mental health right now. It is literally the most rebellious thing that you can choose. Drop it in the comments if you're choosing peace over panic right now.
Are you choosing peace over panic right now? Fear, right? False evidence appearing real. And it's true. This is how they get us with this constant feed of negativity and scarceness and fear mongering. And it's not good for us, right? And like he said, especially if we get emotionally attached to it and, we really get involved in it, then it really, the fear can really get us into places like anxiety and depression, which again, obviously not good. And the other bit he said, if you can't affect it, then don't worry about it. And this is really how they get us, right? They tell us there's all this stuff happening all around the world, things that we can't do anything about. We can't. The people close to them can, but unless we're close to it, we can't really do anything. I mean, if you've got a grand plan and you want to get out and do something, then awesome. But, in everyday life, focusing on these things that we can't affect is very bad for our mental health. And of course, fear keeps us in a state of fight or flight, which is stress, which is the underlier of all disease, right? So, yeah, you definitely need to smile and not take everything in, and, get emotionally attached to it. That's why I'm always saying it's a show. It's a show. Watch it and, only get involved and emotionally attached if you can actually go out and you're going to go out and do something to change it. Otherwise, it's just bad energy, bad juju, man.
No, Jackson, no. Don't do this. Can we just have one normal night? Like, just one? Please? morning, Jackson.
So God created fish to swim, but fish don't take swimming lessons because the swim is already in the fish. God created birds to fly, but birds don't go to flight school because the flight is already in the bird. God created seeds to become trees, but seeds don't take gardening classes because the tree is already in the seed. So you see, success is built in. But here's the part most people miss. If you're doing what God created you to do, success isn't the goal, it's the default. All of God's creation succeeds naturally when it functions according to its design. And humans are exactly the same. The problem is most people are disconnected from their design. Most people are trying to succeed outside of what they were created for. A fish looks untalented on land. A bird looks weak underwater. A seed looks dead on concrete. But none of them are failures. They're just in the wrong environment. So success isn't about effort, it's about alignment. When you're doing what God created you for, there's a different level of grace attached to it. And it's not because it's easy, it's because you were literally designed for it. When a fish swims, it looks effortless. When a bird flies, it looks effortless because they were built for it. You're the same way. When you're operating in your purpose, it should look effortless too, because success is just a byproduct of being in the right environment, on the right assignment. So the problem was never that success isn't in you. The problem is that you're trying to function somewhere God never designed you to live. Find your water, find your sky, then watch how natural it all becomes.
Find your water and find your sky. I like what he says there, like we all are told, that success is this thing that only a few people achieve and can achieve. But the problem is the goalposts are in the wrong place, right? Because all of that success is all within the system. Unless you're doing something within the system to help the system grow and prop it up and all this, you're not seen as a success. But anything's successful if you do it well. You can be a successful parent. You can be a successful gardener. You can be a successful whatever, right? Race car driver, entrepreneur. But of course, if it's not in alignment, like he said, it's going to be a hard road, which is, of course, why we do see a lot of failure, because people are given goals from the system, like they're given goals. So they're not their own goals. They're not their own inspiration. They're not their own calling. They're told, no, what you need is to be a doctor. You need a good education. You need lots of money. You need this kind of house. You need whatever. Right? When that's not who they are. And so the default in that position is failure, where when you're following your dream, your passion, and doing what you feel called to do, then the outcome of that is success, because you are in alignment. So a good little piece of advice there. But definitely let me know what you think about that. And also, guys, I just want to say a big thank you to everyone who's here watching, all the new subscribers, all the old subscribers, and everyone who leaves comments. There's, overwhelmingly just very good, nice, inspiring comments. And also everyone who likes, hypes this up and shares it around. I appreciate you all. And especially those who donate as well. Thank you to you as well for helping support what I do. Really appreciate it.
There is nothing that's not made from the Creator. And so instead of God living, where in the universe is God? Is he, near Alpha Centauri somewhere, or is he outside of the universe? No, I believe the universe collectively is God. Therefore, all of us are part of the Creator,
Yes, I agree. We are all the creation, right? And the Creator, God, if that's what you want to call it, is everywhere, right? The Most High, the universe, whatever you want to call it, because everything is frequency. So everything is really one in the bigger picture. We're just experiencing separation here at the moment. But this is what all these sayings that God lives within you, this is what they're talking about. We literally have the energy of God, because to me, God is an energy, the energy that binds and animates all things. And we are part of that energy. But what are your thoughts on that one?
Horse my tribe, take a look at this. Organic, certified butter, only 2 ingredients, half-star health rating. And take a look at this. Then you've got Woolies generic basic butter, over 20 ingredients. It's a half-star rating. Four stars. That's political, corrupt marketing right there. Because they don't want you to eat real whole foods. They want you to buy their cheap shit because that's better for business for them. Organic whole foods.
The incredible capabilities from commercial industry to build a moon base. We are leveraging the NASA playbook from the 1960s, figuring out what works and what doesn't in this epic science of survival, because the moon base is as beautiful as it is hostile. So we are discussing 3 moon base missions and a series of additional awards with more missions to be announced in the months ahead. Now, Moonbase 1 will be the first privately funded lunar lander mission in history. Moonbase 2 will be the largest commercial payload delivered to the lunar surface ever, though in this Moonbase endeavor, we certainly hope to be breaking records on nearly every mission. The Astrobotic Griffin lander will carry more than 500 kilograms of cargo, including Astrolab's FLIP rover, to the lunar surface.
This is incredible. We're going to build houses on the moon, a city on the moon.
Jetsons, here we come. All right, we're going to the moon. $20 billion. I mean, and isn't it interesting that they can apparently, build something on the moon, a base on the moon for $20 billion. But for all these data centers we're hearing about, they're much more than that. They're $100 billion. Like they're talking trillions of dollars are going to be spent. How does that compute? But yeah, there you go. If you want to believe that one, we went back to the moon and now we're going to go and colonize it.
Did you ask the federal court to extend pregnancy protections to transgender women?
Senator, not from my recollection.
No, so I'm asking, I was wanting to understand the status of your submission.
No, in the submissions we talked about the meaning of pregnancy and potential pregnancy and how that may apply.
So can I ask,
gender
how do you see that applying in the Act currently to trans women?
Trans women, if someone is who applies for a job, for example,
yes,
and it is a trans woman and she may be asked whether or not she intends to have children, and if she replies, yes, I do, and then doesn't get the job because that employer doesn't want to employ women who may be of childbearing age, then she may have been subjected to unlawful discrimination on the basis of potential pregnancy.
I'm very confused. A biological male can't become pregnant.
But the grounds of pregnancy includes potential pregnancy as well as pregnancy.
But if they can't become pregnant, how can you then become potentially pregnant?
It's about the unlawful treatment by the employer. If someone is treated unfairly on the basis of pregnancy or potential pregnancy, then that is unlawful discrimination on the basis of pregnancy.
So if a bloke came in and they said, are you going to have children, which is the same question really, and he said, oh, yeah, maybe, are you saying that he could also claim that ground?
If he didn't receive the job because...
But they can't get pregnant?
No, not a man who is seeking a position, then it's not going to apply to a man.
Well, they're both biological men. It makes no sense. A biological man, you stated before, a biological man can't get pregnant. Am I correct? Because if I'm not, I've got to go back to school. I seriously do, because I missed that lesson in biology. I went to a convent school. The nuns may not have told me about it. But you said a biological man can't get pregnant.
That's correct, Senator. But someone who is a trans woman may be assumed to be pregnant or to be able to be pregnant.
So what stops a man putting on a dress, walking in and claiming the protections? He's now a woman. You've admitted that.
That would be up to a court to decide whether or not it was discrimination on the basis
so it's the
of
and with all due respect, it is the absurdity of the law yet again, which shows, again, the law does need to be changed because, for the record, biological men, doesn't matter what way you cut it, you cannot get pregnant. And quite frankly, it is an insult to women who actually are discriminated on because they want to have children when they biologically can.
Struggle against oppression. Symbolic of his struggle against reality.
Ah, well, enough said, I guess.
I'm in the centre of the White Sheet Hill crop circle, and behind me here you see the barley grain. And we have barley grains rising back to the surface again, and this is the outer edge that not many people have kind of touched, which is a major indicator for a more anomalous activity. You can see below me here, like I'll show you now, all of this has been trampled and crushed with people walking in here doing ceremonial bowls and crystal stuff, so therefore it's ruined the barley because it breaks the stems. Whereas on the outside edge, the stems are not broken and it's pushing back towards the sun again, much like the Sutton Veny one with the strange activity. We have a key indicator here. Now, when people create crop circles, a lot of people like to say with humans it is boards and rope. And as they go along, they squish the crops down and then the crop kind of kills itself off. But we don't have that happening here. And this is why I wanted to wait a week before we come out here so we can really see what's going on. Now, there's a few other key indicators which I want to talk about. Up on the hillside here, whenever we have a genuine strange encounter, there's always burial mounds or historic sites. And up on this hill is a Neolithic site which dates back about 5,000 plus years old. There used to be settlements, burial mounds, other strange activity and ritualistic activity all around here as well. There's another key indicator I would like to talk about. Whenever you have an anomalous crop circle or sites where there's strange activity, there's chalk and quartz geology present quite heavily. And where we are right now is chalk and quartz geology. So there's a lot of flint rock, chalk as well, lots of piezoelectricity. So around there, lots of energy can be conjured up. Strange activity takes place, whether that be orbs, paranormal, UFO activity, things get attracted to it. And all around White Sheet Hill itself, lots of strange spiritual activity takes place, from audible sounds, UFO activity, encounters, spirits and things are happening, lights, strange unexplained noises, again, bangs, booms, and all around Wiltshire itself is just been renowned for this sort of thing to kick off. So it's quite amazing to be here. I've got a few like heart flutters and my head's going a bit woo whilst I'm stood in here, but that could just be from the heat as well, so we don't know.
Well, there you go. Some more on the crop circles. And I just put that in just because, you know, he showed it, that crop circle is right next to an ancient site where ceremony was going on, right? An ancient energy site, which is what, if you saw yesterday's video, I was talking about the crop circle and how I believe that they're all basically created on ley lines and ley line intersections. And they're basically natural earth energies that are giving us information, if you want to put it that way, right? The frequency is coming up and that frequency is creating a cymatic with, and I'm pretty sure there's information encoded in them as well. But then he also mentioned the UFOs, and there is an old video of a crop circle being created and it's by a little orb or sprite, right? That's just flying around the field, much like a lot of the UFOs we see. So, you know, are UFOs, or at least some of the UFOs, connected with crop circles? Because there's definitely a big connection has been built, but they normally, you know, the normal mainstream connection is UFOs come down and make them. But, you know, is it are they inverting it again? Is it the natural earth energies that are coming up that then make it? I don't know. It's interesting because there was a researcher, and I can't remember his name. It was a New Zealand guy. And back in the 80s, I think it was, he was researching UFOs and he worked out that they were always seen in the same spots and that they were basically moving along lines, right? Ley lines. So that's an interesting little bit of information too. Is this, you know, or at least a lot of, or even all UFOs that we see, at least the orbs, right? Are they all just created by the earth? Are they natural earth energies? It's an interesting question, right? Because there is a reason that there are so many sacred sites. And of course, all the star forts are built on them, all the cathedrals are built on them. You know, the Elites have gone along and put like abattoirs and jails and things on them to, you know, put the bad frequency in. But there's definitely an earth grid, right? We see it through the architecture of the old world and just through rituals and all this kind of stuff. So I wonder if that will account for much of the phenomena that we, you know, are asking questions about and researching. but let me know your thoughts on that one in the comments. And there we go, guys. We've come to the end. Thanks for spending some time with me. I hope you enjoyed that one. Please do give me a like if you enjoyed it. Share it around, hype it up, and all that good stuff. And of course, make sure you subscribed as well. Hit the bell button. People have been telling me that they've hit the bell button and they're not getting notified that they've subscribed, and then YouTube's unsubscribed them. So I'm sorry about that. There's not much I can do about it, but just search my name. I'm getting my shit together. So the videos will be going up Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from now on. So if you haven't seen them, just do a search, I guess. And most of all, stay awesome, because you are. And I'll talk to you on the next upload. Bye for now.
Hello and welcome back to Creature Watching.
I got it on video.
Ow, ow.
I got a video of that.
I think I found a solution for that.
Yeah.